बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। अस्सलाम वालेकुम। उम्मीद करती हूँ कि आप सब लोग खैरियत से होंगे। मैं NAR साइंस स्कूल एंड कॉलेज की तरफ से आप लोगों की खिदमत में हाजिर हूँ। आज की इस वीडियो में मैं आप लोगों के साथ कुछ इम्पोर्टेंट शॉर्ट एंड लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन डिस्कस करूंगी। अगर तो आप लोगों ने हमारा चैनल सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया तो आप लोगों से दरख्वास्त है कि प्लीज़ इसको सब्सक्राइब कर दें ताकि आप लोगों को डेली अपडेट्स मिलती रहें। चलें आज की वीडियो स्टार्ट करते हैं। क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 है, What did Chip say to the young Cole, the son of the Cole whom Chips punished first at Brookfield? Describe the atmosphere in the hall when Chips took his first class. How did Mr. Weatherby advise Chips on the day of his interview at Brookfield? What was the name of Chip's doctor and how often did he visit Chips? For how much time did Chips work at Mulberry School and why did he not like it? How did Chips measure his time when he lived at Mr. Wickett's house? What did Chips' doctor say about Chips? What did Chips do after the first bell of Brookfield when he lived at Mr. Wickett's house? How did the boy look when Chips took his first class at Brookfield? What kind of fellow was Mr. Weatherby? How did Chips enjoy sleep? What mischief was made in the very first class of Mr. Chips at Brookfield and who made? When was the structure of the building of Brookfield rebuilt and extended? Was Chips an ambitious teacher? What did Chips retire and what was presented to him on the day of his retirement? What was the social and economic status of Chips? What was Chips' status at Brookfield at 60? How did Brookfield look? What kind of people did Brookfield supply? Did Brookfield enjoy a good report? What kind of books did Chips have in his room? How was Chips' room decorated at Mr. Wickett's house? What was the condition of Mr. Wickett's house? With what did Chips serve the boy? What did Chips tell Mr. Wickett about Major Collingwood? How did Chips feel in the company of women? How did Catherine Bridge look? What did Catherine think about women's rights? Why did Chips not like Bernard Shaw and Ibsen and cycling? What did Chips see while climbing on Great Trouble? Why did Catherine begin to like Chips? What was the profession of Catherine? What were the political views of Catherine? Where and with whom did Chips go during the summer vacation of 1896? What did Catherine say to Chips on the night before the wedding? Did Chips remember about the time he spent with Catherine in Lake District? Where was Catherine married from? Was Catherine played with Chips being a teacher? What influence did Catherine Bridge exercise on Chips? Describe the quarrel between Ralston and Chips. Write a note on Chips' humor. What was Chips' performance as a teacher before marriage? What did kind of fellow was Mr. Chips before marriage? How much popular was Catherine Bridge in Brookfield? Was Catherine more intelligent than Chips? What change did Catherine bring in Chips? Did Catherine always play Chips for leniency? What memory of Catherine haunted Chips? Did Chips take a class on the day when his wife and child died? What change did the death of his wife bring in Chips? His feeling on Catherine's death? What was the April Fool Chips faced? How did Catherine use Chips to forgive the student for their mistake? How did Ralston look? What duty what duty was assigned to the boys of Brookfield when the railwaymen were on strike? When did Chips become the acting head of Brookfield? Did Ralston know Brookfield and its tradition? What sort of person was Ralston? How did people come to know about the quarrel between Ralston and Chips? What allegation did Ralston put on Chips? What did Chips say in the farewell speech? Who was the successor of Ralston and what kind of man was he? When? Why did Ralston have Brookfield? What happened to Chips in 1930? Or why did Chips retire? Or at what age Chips retired? What were the activities of Chips after his retirement? When did Chips receive his farewell party? What did Catherine read out on every Sunday night during the war? Write a brief note on Mr. Catherine. Write a brief note on Mr. Marvel. When? How did Chips perform as the head of Brookfield? Second headship. How did Chips feel when he rejoined Brookfield? What sort of jokes did Chips make when he joined Brookfield again during the war? What did Dr. Marvel say about Mr. Chips' health? Who was Mrs. Wicker? How did Catherine help Chips in the matter of discipline? What was Chip's reaction to Ralston's allegation? How did Catherine's death? What was Chip's outdoor activities during the last year of his life? What was Chip's well? How did Chips face his first class at Brookfield? Why did Ralston ask Chips to retire? Who was Marvel? Why did Chips join Brookfield again? What is the contribution of Brookfield School of England? What is the most thrilling incident of the novel? What change did the marriage bring in Chips? How did Chips come across Catherine Bridge? Why did students, teachers, and parents turn against Ralston? Describe Chip's experience at Brookfield on the first day. Describe any two changes brought about by Catherine in the life of Chips. आज की वीडियो खत्म होती है इस आखिरी सवाल पर। उम्मीद करती हूँ कि आप लोगों को आज की वीडियो पसंद आई होगी। शुक्रिया एंड बेस्ट ऑफ लक।